It's a hot summer night in New York. How hot? Well, yeah, real hot. And the Mets are hoping that their bats stay as hot as the weather, just like they were last night. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Detroit Tigers. Mets baseball is presented in HD by IOTV. Get your HD free with IOTV. Have a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets played the middle game of their three-game series against the Detroit Tigers. The Mets came home last night after being shut out on Sunday at Yankee Stadium, and they made up for it big time with their largest run output of the year, 14 runs, led by the top of the batting order, Reyes, Pagan, and Wright. They had something special going on.
Well, first time ever, the top three men in Met batting order had scored 3 runs and had over 3 hits. They just had a phenomenal day. And a big guy right here was so impressive was Pagan after all the talk of Beltran coming back. Pagan handling it so well, saying, you know what? When I started this season, I thought I was only going to be the 4th outfielder. He's had his opportunity. He could have folded his tent. What did he do? He had a big night. Drove in 4 runs. You see the hits. A home run shy of a cycle. And that's how you answer the critics right there. And he's just been the most consistent Met player offensively.
And with Reyes in front of him and right behind him, they combined to go 10 for 16, 9 runs scored, 7 RBIs, used their speed. It was a sight to behold. Tonight, R.A. Dicky tries to make a little more Mets history. He's already the only Mets starter ever to win 5, go 5-0 in his first 6 Mets starts.
Well, he was the guy just to kind of plug the gap. The Mets were just kind of grasping for straws. And you know what? In 6 starts, he is 5-0. And boy, he has been a godsend for this ball club. He's come in with the knuckleball. And he reminds me a lot of Phil Niekro. He throws at various speed. He throws it hard. He throws it soft. They're hitting 2 over 280 against him, the offenses. But you know what? He gets in trouble, Gary. He's been had several bases loaded jams, and he pitches out of it. So he's a guy with guts that gets better with men on base. Going for his 6th win.
And he's been throwing more and more strikes as the starts have gone along with that knuckleball. As for the Tigers, Jeremy Bonderman, who missed a lot of the last couple of years because of surgery, has come back this year, and it looks like he's going in the right direction.
Well, he was a real hard thrower and really basically a 2-pitch pitcher before he had the surgery. Doesn't throw as hard as he used to. Sinker, slider. Left-handers tend to give him trouble, but he's developed a changeup, a 3rd pitch, an off-speed pitch, much like Mike Pelfrey against the left-handers. He's 3-4, looking to go even.
So it's the Mets and the Tigers. Mets looking to stay masters of their domain at Citi Field. All the action coming up on SNY. Geico. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Suzuki and the amazing new Kizashi Sports Sedan. By StubHub. And by Volkswagen. We're on the bases this Sunday at Citi Field following the Mets' afternoon game against the Twins with the Mr. Met Dash for all kids 12 and under. For tickets, visit Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX. There's your Suzuki around the majors. The Marlins pulled the plug on Freddie Gonzalez, 34 and 36 this year, 276 and 279 in 3+ years, replaced on an interim basis by Edwin Rodriguez. Johnny Cueto went 7 strong innings, allowed just 7 hits as the Reds shut out the A's 3-0. Steven Strasburg went 6, struck out 9 through 95 pitches, gave up 9 hits. The Royals lead 1-0 in that game in the bottom of the 9th, with the Nats batting with 2 out and nobody on. That was this afternoon. Coming up tonight, it's the Mets and the Tigers. Oh, by the way, Jerry Seinfeld's going to visit us tonight.
Who?
Jerry Seinfeld, big Met fan. First pitch coming up. Your great seats direct from the source, Mets.com. Here's your fourth starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Johnny Damon sat out last night. He'll be in center field. Gosh, the last time he was in center field in the Mets home ballpark, wasn't that when David Wright hit one over his head for a game winner against the Yankees? Brendan Bosch, who had the big night last night with a 2-run homer, hits behind Miguel Cabrera, who still leads the American League in runs batted in, as the Tigers, who have won 8 of their last 10, go up against the knuckleballer R.A. Dicky. Dicky's stats brought to you by Verizon.
There's the knuckleballer right there. The last time he's lost, well, that was back on May 9th. That was at Indianapolis, a 5-4 loss when he was with Buffalo in AAA. He is undefeated, as you see here. And, boy, what a surprise he has been. And boy, you hang around long enough and you keep plugging, you get rewarded, and this is certainly the case. For a knuckleballer, very surprising. Look at the 12 walks in the 38 in the third innings. That's really low for a knuckleballer. And Alexis Metzi defense, Bay Pagan, Francoeur in that outfield, and you can see the assist. Strong arms from all. Obviously the strongest arm and most accurate arm out of in right field with Francoeur. Davis, Tejada, Reyes right, and Blanco gets the start behind the plate.
Second straight start for Blanco, catching Dicky. Well, here's Johnny Damon making his return to New York. Getting a mixed reception as he steps in. Johnny now 36 years old, signed late as a free agent with the Tigers, and he takes the knuckleball for ball one, and we're underway.
And he is mired in a very deep slump, Mr. Damon.
2 for his last 23. And Dicky throws a fastball and misses with it. It's 2-0.
And you notice the power number's down. He's way, way back in that box. It's almost out of the box.
And a fastball strike. Well, Johnny played in a perfect ballpark for his power swing at Yankee Stadium, and particularly the new Yankee Stadium last year. Comerica Park, a little different animal. Hit to center field on the fastball by Dicky, and Pagan with room. One away. So Dicky, 2 of his first 4 pitches of the night have been fastballs, which goes a little bit against his program lately. He's been throwing a higher percentage of knuckleballs his last 3 starts than he did his first 3. Here's Ramon Santiago playing shortstop tonight. The Tigers started the year with Adam Everett as their shortstop. They let him go, and they used the rookie Danny Wirth last night, going with Santiago tonight. Switch hitter, veteran, takes low for ball 1.
Interesting, in R.A. Dickey's last start, when he got in trouble, Dan Wharton came out of the mound and told him to throw the hard knuckleball, and boy, it turned it around for him.
He threw that knuckleball as fast as 80 miles an hour in that last start, which has got to be the fastest knuckleball in history.
And there's last night's losing pitcher. The Mets just jumped all over Justin Verlander early. Never gave him a chance to get into a rhythm.
And then he came out of the game after the rain delay, and the Tiger bullpen imploded from there.
Well, it was a wise decision from Jim Leland. He was struggling through an awful lot of pitches.
Missing high with the fastball, and Dicky behind Santiago, 3-1. R.A. over the last 3 starts has thrown 89% knuckleballs, but a little different program early on tonight. And another fastball. This one misses for ball 4, and so a 1-out walk to Ramon Santiago.
Well, make that 13 walks on the year. Still low for a knuckleball pitcher.
So here's Maglio Ordonez, 0 for 4 last night. That snapped a 10-game hitting streak. But Ordonez still 6th in the American League in batting at .328. When Maglio had that
Moss
hair coming down to his shoulders.
Like Don Mossy out of Cleveland bullpen.
And a near pickoff as Santiago just got his hand back in.
Well, that's the advantage of a left-hander at first base. Look how you can make that easy sweep tag there. It's much quicker for a go backhand with the tag. Nice knuckleball right there from Dicky. On a tag with the glove on the right hand with a left-hand thrower, it's easy on the backhand, quicker to backhand tag as opposed to the right-hander. And we'll take a look at, watch this. It's down the middle. Oh, no, it's not.
Just makes a little half turn. And floats on the air currents. 1-1 to Ordonez. You notice Henry Blanco is still wearing that black knuckleball catcher's glove, which they have been hoping to take out of rotation fairly soon. They're breaking a new one in, but that's the same one Dicky's been carrying around with him the last 2 years. Up the middle and a base hit for Ordonez. Santiago pulls in at second, so the Tigers have 2 men on with Miguel Cabrera coming up.
Well, watch his foot here. And trust me, he wasn't trying. He was trying for a skate save.
I wonder, or whether he thought Reyes was shaded further up the middle, and that if he let it go, he might have a chance for it. Not sure.
Well, here's one of the best hitters in the game.
Cabrera 1 for 4 last night at a long opposite field double.
The whole night he went to right center field.
Tries again and fouls it off.
Which is a strength of his. He's really just a natural opposite field hitter. By opposite field, I mean into the gap, not down the right field line. He just drives that ball into the gap.
Well, I 415 in the gap last night.
I love him from the day I saw him.
Hitting .327 for the year. Out to center field, and Pagan is there. And so Cabrera flies out for the second out. A big one for Dicky.
Well, that big trade that the Tigers made with the Marlins that brought Cabrera here with Dontrelle Willis, that didn't do much. He just got it inside enough to beat him on the velocity of the pitch only, solely. I think Detroit probably got the better end of that deal.
Well, they got Cabrera, which, nothing else has really worked out in that deal. Dontrelle did not perform all that well for the Tigers and has since been moved to Arizona. And the guys that the Marlins got back, Cameron Maybin, Andrew Miller, they've yet to really perform.
This kid had an impressive night last night.
Brennan Bosch hit a long 2-run homer to right center last night, his 11th of the year. Hitting at .343 in his rookie year, a .635 slugging percentage. 25 years old, out of Cal Berkeley. 2 on and 2 out. And the knuckleball down, 1-1.
Well, they say he's got too mechanical a swing. I tend to disagree. And that was a rocket launcher right there.
What would you be looking for if you were talking about a mechanical swing? What does that mean to you?
It means robotic. I don't see it robotic. He's got an interesting follow-through, that Charlie Lau type follow-through. What did Ronnie compare him to last night, the Boston outfielder, Mike
Greenwell, yeah.
Mike Greenwell? I agree. It's a very unusual follow-through that he has. But look, he's very strong. Well, they're all strong today.
Well, I mean, when we used to talk about Pat Burrell, you kind of refer to him as a one-plane swinger.
Right.
When we're talking about him?
No, it's, to me, more mechanical is, to me, a mechanical swing is, okay, I step one, I stride, I bring my hands back two, I come here, I open my hips here. It's not fluid.
No.
He's got a fluid swing. It's a little awkward, but it's fluid.
Full count to Bosch.
He stays in. That's the one thing I've seen. This is only the second, but the fifth at bat we've seen with this young man. But he keeps his shoulder in. I was impressed very much last night, Gary, how he stayed in on the left-hander.
Runners will take off now. Santiago at second, Ordonez at first. Dicky takes a look to try and slow Santiago down. There's not a whole lot of speed in this Detroit lineup, especially with Austin Jackson not playing tonight.
Well, they're going to beat up on them with their power guys.
3-2 to Bosch, and he walked him. Ball gets away from Blanco, but Santiago stops at third. So 2 walks in the inning for Dicky, and the bases are loaded.
Well, this is nothing new with Dicky. I've lost count of how many bases loaded situations he's been in and pitched his way out of it. And that's just not even close there.
So now an early crisis for Dicky. Bases loaded and 2 out. And Carlos Guillen, the batter. Guillen 1 for 4 last night, hitting at .294. Batting from his better side, he's hitting .311 as a left-hand batter. Some switch hitters will bat right-handed against a right-handed knuckleballer, not Guillen. And he takes a strike on the outside. Guillen, now 34 years old, playing second base since coming back from the disabled list. Had been DHing early in the year. He's played just about everywhere since coming up with Seattle. And he takes a Leonard High knuckleball, and so it too. So Dicky having trouble with the control early on, but 2 quick strikes on Guillen. Santiago at third, Ordonez at second, and Bosch at first with 2 out. 35-year-old R.A. Dicky trying to pitch himself out of a first-inning mess. Grounded slowly for Tejada to handle. And the side retired. The Tigers loaded, leave them loaded. Mets come up in the bottom of the first, no score. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup tonight. Reyes, Pagan, and Wright had huge nights last night, going 10 for 16 with 9 runs scored and 7 RBIs among the 3 of them. There, Frank Court moves up to the 6th hole tonight with Henry Blanco catching. Ruben Tejada again at second base. And there are the Toyota numbers on Jeremy Bonderman.
Bonderman, of course, came up in 2003, lost 19 games his first year, and had a stretch with 2005 and 2006 where he won 14.
Reyes cracks one to deep right field. Ordonez back, it's over his head and bouncing up against the wall. Reyes around second. He'll easily make it to third. Reyes leads off the bottom of the first inning with his 6th triple of the year. Here we go again.
Well, this is a good swing. This is the Jose Reyes swing that I've used to seeing over the years, and that's that ballpark. Hey, 6 triples. Jose on a full year. Gosh, oh my, this is a triple haven for him with his wheels.
Nobody was going to catch that ball, but this is a Detroit outfield alignment that is absolutely unsuited to play in this ballpark, particularly with Damon playing center field instead of Austin Jackson, who at least can cover some ground.
Here we go again. Mets jumping up early.
So Angel Pagan will try and get him in. Pagan had the big night last night with 4 for 6 and 4 RBIs. Had a couple of shots at the cycle. Had a single and ground out in his last 2 at-bats. And Pagan grounds one foul down to Razor Shines. 1-1.
Here's your IOTV pitch differential. Low and away. Oh, okay. That is, you might think that's not that much. Well, you know what? That's enough. You get that ball a little bit on that yellow dot right there, that's yellow circle. That's the difference between the barrel of the bat and a little towards the end. And I'll tell you what, Reyes just put a rip on that one.
Pagan hits one in the air deep down the right field line, but it's hooking. And it goes foul. 1-2.
Jose, since returning back to the leadoff spot, it was May 15th. He didn't take too much liking to that 3rd spot. Boy, look at that. He's caught fire. Look at the on-base percentage.
He's now in the top 10 in the National League in base hits. And he's in the top 10 in the league in runs scored with 45. And when he scores a run, the Mets are 27-7 this year.
Ooh.
Good pitch by Bonderman to strike out Pagan for the first out.
Well, there's that changeup we talked about in the open that Bonderman he's developed. Since he had that thoracic outlet compression syndrome, he's not throwing the 95, 96 he used to. He's a hard sinker slider pitcher. He's just developing the off-speed pitch for left-handers.
So now David Wright will try and get the run in, and looks like Jim Leland's going to bring his infield in the first inning.
Why not take a chance early?
David tied for the National League lead with 55 runs batted in. And it's hit hard down to third. Reyes has to hold. Inge throws out right, 2 away. So David swinging at the first pitch. It's a hard grinder right at Brandon Inge, and it worked out for Jim Leland.
Well, the Coors Light Tiger defense, the rookie Bosch out in left, Damon the veteran coming over from the Yankees in center, Maglio Ordonez in right, in Santiago Guillen Cabrera. Cabrera, remember, came up with the Marlins as a 3rd baseman. They pushed him over to first base. He's a liability defensively, but he makes up with it with his bat.
Ike Davis now with 2 out. One more crack at getting Reyes in from third. Reyes was just dashing down the line, trying to draw Bonderman's attention, maybe draw a balk. Davis hits one deep, but foul down the left side.
Just getting back to the infield being in with the runner on third in the first inning. You wonder why. Okay, the runner on third base, you might want to take a chance with 1 out. If there were runners on second and third, or the bases were loaded, the bases loaded, forget it, it'd be a double play depth. Right. But second and third, I think Leland would have played it back, because in a base hit scores 2.
Hit hard down to first, and Cabrera's got it. So a couple of hard hit ground balls, not enough to get Reyes in after a leadoff triple. He's stranded, and we're scoreless after 1. Loaded miss in the top of the first. Jeremy Bonderman worked around a leadoff triple in the bottom of the first. Scoreless game as we start the second. Brandon Inge, the number 7 hitter, exchanging pleasantries with Henry Blanco, who has played with just about everybody in the major leagues at some time or another. When you're a 38-year-old backup catcher who's made as many stops as Henry Blanco, you know everybody in the game. And Inge takes a knuckleball for a strike.
He's one of those, a good fielding third baseman, 32 years of age, lifetime .236 hitter, hit 27 home runs last year.
Remember, he came up as a catcher and then was a utility guy for a few years, went back to catching 2 years ago when the Tigers had a need, but now a fixture at third base. No one gets away from Blanco, who had 2 pass balls in Dicky's last start.
Is this a typo? Did he strike out 170 times last year?
No typo.
Oh my word, I would have to think about seriously hurting myself if I struck out that many times.
Mark Reynolds last year struck out 222.
That's
new major league record.
Yes. What an impressive series he had here.
Inge hits it out to right center. Long run for Pagan over in the gap, and he makes the catch. Pagan just outran a ball that was slicing away from him for the first out.
Well, speed and defense in this big ballpark. Watch Pagan top of your screen. Watch the break. Instant. Great lateral movement. We've always said his speed left to right is fabulous. And boy, oh boy, he can pick it.
He's played a Gold Glove caliber center field this year.
Mustang Sally. Wilson Pickett.
Gotcha. See, it's not often that you actually lose me, but you lost me for just a half a second there. Thank you for clarifying.
I actually have the LP. That's how old I am. I have Wilson Pickett Mustang Sally LP.
I thought you were making a reference to Mustang, like on his horse. Through the hole, base hit for Alex Avila, as Davis didn't really move for that ball. I think maybe feeling as though Tejada had a shot for it, but it goes on through. Well, next inning, Jerry Seinfeld will be sauntering in to join us for a little while. It's going to be a lot of fun, don't you think?
I'm looking forward to it. Coming in when? The third inning or after the third?
I believe it's in the third. Well, whenever he gets here. You know, this is kind of a casual arrangement here.
So Jerry's in the house?
Well, Jerry, of course, comes to a lot of games here.
I understand.
Bonderman defensively puts it, caught by Davis from his knees, doubles him up. Side retired. Ike Davis laying out. And the 3-4 double play ends the inning. No score. Here's your Mets upcoming schedule. Remember, all Mets games on SNY are available in HD, presented by IOTV. One more with the Tigers tomorrow night. Isanori Takahashi against Armando Galarraga. Twins are in over the weekend. And then the Mets go to Puerto Rico to play the Marlins, who fired their manager, Freddie Gonzalez, today. And then to Washington for a likely meeting with Steven Strasburg, who took his first big league loss this afternoon, 1-0 to Kansas City. And if you're not near a TV, you can listen to all Mets games on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. If the first big league loss is 1-0, that's not too terrible.
No, it was a tough luck loss.
And he didn't walk about it for the third time in 4 starts.
He's very much ahead of the game.
So he got 41 strikeouts in 4 starts. Amazing. Jason Bay leads off in the home second inning. Jason, over the last 2 games, has 1 hit and 4 walks. He's been drawing more walks the last couple of games than he has for most of the year.
I think he's drawing more walks.
It's this one well to left field, but Bosch is right there to play it.
I think he's drawing more walks, Gary, because he's had pitches to hit that he's been late and he's fouling off. And if he's red hot, he's put those balls in play. It's just been such a struggle for him. Right there, he was a little out in front.
So now Jeff Francoeur. Jeff 1 for 4 last night, drove in a run, stole a base.
Drove in a run the hard way, hit by a pitch with the bases loaded.
It was that ill-fated big league debut of Jay Spores, the Detroit reliever. Hit his first 2 big league batters, gave up 3 hits later in the inning, got charged with 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning.
Tough spot for a young man to come in, rain delay, when the bases were loaded.
Well, it's tough because until he makes his next appearance, he will lug around an earned run average of 67.5.
Well, you know, at least on the Sunday paper, when they have all the major league players, you haven't got enough appearances to be on that page.
Thank goodness. By the time he does, it'll be down to at least 33 1/3.
I remember
slider by Bonder.
I remember, there he is right there. He just shook it off. Good night's sleep.
Came back for another day.
Oh, absolutely.
Sun rose in the morning.
Yeah, you can't quit.
One, 2. And Francoeur went around on a slider way out of the strike zone. Second strikeout for Bonderman. So 2 away. Henry Blanco coming up.
Well, they've been throwing Jeff nothing but breaking stuff. So the scouts for Detroit have said nothing but sliders to Mr. Francoeur, and he should put that in the back of his head. And this is now, 5 at bats, 6 at bats. He's been getting a steady diet of the breaking stuff. They got a game plan. Make the adjustment.
Blanco hitting at 279. This is his 19th starting assignment tonight. And he puts it in play. A little ground ball for Santiago to handle. And so the Mets go quickly in the second. Bonderman's retired 6 in a row. When we come back to Citi Field for the third, Jerry Seinfeld will be joining us in the booth. Mets and Tigers, no score. And Jeremy Bonderman locked in a scoreless duel, and man in between us, I think, needs no introduction. That would be Jerry Seinfeld.
I would like an introduction. You could give me one.
I could. Well,
every performer wants an introduction.
The most iconic performer of his time.
Oh, please finish your thought.
Hello, Seinfeld.
This is a gigantic thrill and an honor for me. But let's get back to the game.
Are you going to do some play-by-play today, or what?
Sure. Well, you know what? That's the first thing I want to talk about. I want to talk. First of all, I'm really a little upset that Ronnie's not here, because this is like I'm working with Groucho and Chico and Harpo. Where's Harpo?
Could be worse. We could have brought in Zeppo. Well, you notice that you're using Ronnie's microphone, so I hope you'll feel good about that.
Number 12. Oh, number 12. He has his number on the little box here. Oh, Johnny Damon is up. I like Johnny Damon.
You like Yankees?
I am not a Yankee disliker. There's a foul ball off to the left side. Take a break, Gary. I'll take over. I want to talk about how great this booth is. I want to talk about Gary Cohen, because nobody talks about Gary Cohen and what he has brought to Met fans in this moment of you and Gary and Ronnie. It's the greatest booth in baseball, and the pleasure that you give to Met fans, myself included, and my family. We want you guys. There's another foul ball. Still 1-2 on Johnny Damon, who used to be with the Yankees. He's got very high socks. It's easy. But seriously, Gary Cohen, in my opinion, is the greatest baseball announcer in the game right now. He is classic. He's innovative. He brings energy, and that looks like it could be a drop. And why do they put the glove up? Is there any chance that anyone's going to fall for that?
I agree. I always wondered why. And that's, 17 years.
But anyway, I wanted to thank you guys, you and Ronnie and Keith. It's the best booth in baseball, and you make the whole night for us. When Met fans are home and we're watching a game, you don't just watch the game anymore. You listen to the game and you learn subtleties of the game, and it's a tremendous thing that you are giving us Met fans, and we appreciate it.
Well, that's great. I wasn't expecting that, Keith. I was expecting, a tribute to Keith. I'm
going to get to the tribute to Keith.
I hope so, because, all we just do is, we play-by-play guys, we just show up.
No, you don't.
It's one of the great scams in history.
It's easy to say there's a base hit.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard you say that.
It's not hard to say there's a hit. But I could go on and on. Wait a minute. He's running. Oh, and Henry Blanco could not get the handle on that one.
Very nice.
Which is unusual for him.
You hear that? Couldn't get the handle. That's baseball terminology.
Well, I know baseball terminology.
Yes.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating. Last night was a weird game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It was long, it was wet, and it was lopsided.
He drops down a bunt. Henry looks at third, but goes to first. All right, one down.
2-3 on the sacrifice. Damon moves to third. You're doing well with this. Hey,
I don't want to do any play-by-play. I want to do comedy color. That's what I'm here to do.
How many games do you come here to a year? I mean, are you here all the time?
I'm here all the time. I probably will come to 30 games this year.
Well, that's not all the time.
Well, it's only 80. That's all the time.
I think it's a pretty good percentage.
How many do you come to?
I probably do, let's see, around 50.
50, okay, so 20 less than you. Again, holds the rest. It's a duplicate of the last inning. They can't get the runner in from third.
Well, that is one thing, Jerry, about R.A. Dicky. He has been able to pitch out of a lot of jams this year. But that's, if you want to do the color, you got to do that. I'm going to defer to you.
No, there's no deferring.
Here's Miguel Cabrera.
Well, there's two down. Miguel Cabrera, he's their cleanup hitter. He's 325. Oh, we've got to be careful with him. Oh, we're going to get out of this. Look at that. David Wright across the diamond, and the inning is over.
Nicely done. You got Dicky through the top of the third. More coming.
Very nice. We are in this.
Excuse me. I don't want to disturb you. I'm Keith Hernandez. I just want to tell you what a big fan I am. I love your comedy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to do what you do.
Do what I do? You're one of my favorite ball players of all time.
Mine too.
I love that bit about Jimmy Olsen.
Really? Thank you.
You know, Keith always says that more people in this world know him from his Seinfeld performance than they do from him being an MVP.
And that was the first scene we did, right?
That was the first scene, and for me, it was the most difficult
scene. It was a tough scene, but you leaned on the locker, so that gave you some physical business.
Yes, and I never felt comfortable saying I love your comedy, that line.
Yeah, we should have changed that.
I just didn't come out like something I would say, but what was I going to do? Go, well, excuse me, Jerry, can I change this line?
Well, people do say I love your comedy. That has been said. It's a ground ball to the left side. Not going to do anything.
So to how to retire one out. Now, you look genuinely abashed when Keith said that to you in that scene. Were you at all in awe?
Totally in awe. I would say I was most excited to meet Keith Hernandez of anybody I worked with on the show.
Really?
Absolutely. Most excited, yeah. Well, I had never really met a ball player before, and I was been a big Met fan for many years, and it was just a few years after '86.
Right. But you grew up a Met fan, and you went to all the games. You never met a Met before or anything like that?
No, I have never. But I really was the biggest fan of yours. I really loved the way you played the game. Speaking of innovative at first base, who was more innovative than Keith Hernandez at first base?
Nobody better. Was there anybody else who came on the show that you felt similarly excited, intimidated by?
No, I was really most excited about Keith, and I wanted him to have a good experience, and it was just fun. I was still in the glow of '86. All right, Dicky takes a healthy cut and hits a line drive 4 feet.
So 2 out on the 2-3 put out, and 8 in a row retired by Bonderman.
Does the pitcher really want to be on base, Keith, or is he kind of hoping that he's going to make out?
Well,
go sit down.
I think it depends on what the score is, but all pitchers, I think, are competitive and want to swing the bat. They get bragging rights among the other pitchers if they hit a home run, and they can always help their cause. So, but most of them stink up there.
I want to get back to Keith's performance.
Not to put too fine a point. Keith's performance.
What did you think of Keith's?
It was good. It was fine. It was good. I mean, this guy never did that before. He looked better doing that than I would wielding a bat.
Now, I don't want to start any controversy, but Ronnie was interviewed the other day, and he intimated that he was asked to do that part before Keith was. Is there any truth to that at all?
No.
All right.
That controversy is over.
Hope you heard that. Ready to spouse it off, but it's 0-2.
You know, the funny thing about that was I was retired my second year of retirement. I was retired a year, and you guys were trying to find me. And I wound up getting a phone call from my last baseball agent, who was Scott Boras. And he called me from Los Angeles, and I hadn't talked with Scott for over a year because I was retired. And he said, "You want to go to L.A. and do the show, the Seinfeld show?" And I said, "What's that?" No,
hey, there's a single up the middle. Jose Reyes cruises into first. He's got a 2-hit night going.
Jose's red hot. So that's how that all got to me, was through my baseball agent. I had no talent agent. I had no aspirations to go into acting or anything in television. I was just 1 year out of baseball.
And Just for Men was still a glimmer in your eye.
That's true. That's true.
That was a dream.
Yes.
Far off dream.
Oh, gosh.
Gary, how did you get started?
I got started at a small 500-watt radio station in Lebanon, New Hampshire. I started in college at Columbia, and I got to work with George Stephanopoulos.
No kidding. He's a friend of mine.
Soccer games together.
I hate when they have a celebrity in the booth and they stop calling the game, and they just pay attention to the celebrity. So let's stay with the game.
Okay.
I'm really more interested in the game than any of this stuff.
What did you think about Pagan? You got to love him, huh?
Love it. It's wonderful when you see a guy grow into a position over the year. My wife feels that she discovered Angel Pagan.
Really?
Yeah, she saw his potential very early on, and this was back in April. She said, "I like that guy. He hustles."
He does hustle. There's no question about that. Always has.
Now, was your wife a big baseball fan?
Big baseball fan.
Before you met her?
She's here tonight. Yep.
Met fan?
She was a Yankee fan. She's now converted. Pitch out. And Reyes, he sneaks in there.
Oh.
How about that?
Call. You got it before the umpire.
You're not supposed to be able to do that. You should be a dead duck on a pitch out. You know what? I think he took it a little easy there.
Too much speed? Too good a jump?
No, I think who's catching for the Tigers?
Avila.
I tell you, when these two teams meet, you can throw the record books right out the window. This is a storied rivalry. It's 1 game old.
19 stolen bases for Reyes. 2-0 on the count to Pagan.
But why can't they slide in feet first?
I agree.
It's so dangerous.
It is.
It's not faster. It's risky. Well, why? Who's in charge of that? Who's in charge of sliding?
You can't tell these guys what to do. Reyes is low.
Ow, my knee. Hold it.
2-1 to Pagan and ball 3.
Now, growing up as a kid in the area here, Jerry, your parents, were they baseball fans?
No, never heard of the game. Never came to a game.
Really?
It was my cousin Vic Albano who brought me to my first game, a doubleheader with the Padres, and I met Sonny Roberto.
Sonny Roberto.
He was a 5th string catcher.
Yes, he was. Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
Now,
But you never forget your first time walking into a big league park.
Ball 4 to Pagan, so 2-men on. Now, you were what, 7 or 8 when the Mets came to be? Were you a Met fan right from the beginning, or did you find it later on?
No, it was later, probably 67, 68. I was 12 or 13.
So you and Tom Seaver arrived right about the same time.
Yes. Yeah, I got on just as it was getting good. But I kind of enjoyed the loser image. I still enjoy the personality of the club, and I don't think there's anything more fun than being a Met fan. They have 2 world championships, but they are 2 of the greatest, most exciting ones that any team could have. You remember them. I mean, and the team always has personality.
Here's David Wright with 2 out and 2 on. Takes the curve for a strike.
This is his spot, right?
He's starting to swing the bat better, Jerry, that's for sure. He was struggling earlier in the year.
But RBIs, right? It's just a different personality, whether you're an RBI guy or an average guy.
Guys that drive them in like to hit with men on base.
What is the difference? It's still just hitting the baseball.
Hit hard.
Oh, and that's fair.
Reyes comes in. Pagan stops at third. Wright with an RBI double. 1-0 New York.
Well, a slider right there pulls it. And you can see right there it's a breaking pitch. Did it get away enough? No, it did not.
Wow, right on the line. Can't do it better than that.
56 RBIs for David. That gives him the National League lead by himself.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, considering he had 72 all of last year, 56 less than half the season is pretty good.
And all those strikeouts early in the season.
And we'll take a look at the IOTV pitch differential, and you can see, and there's a big difference right there. Instead of low and away, it's got too much of the plate and it's up.
Are you a fan of the pitch differential? You like that feature?
No, I don't think it means a thing. So if it's low and away, maybe he taps it the other way, and they.
That's a good point, Jerry. You think there's too many graphics on production today?
I love the rain delay sponsored. Who sponsors the
Select Spider?
The Select Spider rain delay. I love that. We'll take the rain delay, unless you have something cheaper.
We've got the cover on the tarp there. Got the nice little rainbow.
Yeah, we'll take. Whenever fans are unhappy, disappointed, and their game's interrupted, we want our logo up there. When are we going to talk about Lady Gaga? That's why I'm here. There's a ground ball.
Next inning, clearly. Davis is out. The inning is over, but the Mets scratch against Bonderman on David Wright's RBI double and lead 1-0.
thought he was a cool guy.
Come on, I won the MVP in '79. I can do whatever I want to.
Oh, this is getting awkward.
Well, good night.
Good night. Who does this guy think he is?
I'm Keith Hernandez.
I'm Keith Hernandez.
Now, what was harder, doing the audio or doing the actual take in the car?
We did 8 takes. I'm not lying. We had to do 8 takes of that. It was 8 kisses.
Well, what was the problem that you needed to do all those takes?
Well,
or were you just enjoying yourself too much?
They had to get it at every angle. They had a camera behind us on both sides and in front. And I botched a few on purpose. I didn't give them my A game.
Really leaned in, didn't he? It's a ground ball to the right side. One out. Ike Davis, love this guy. Keith, could you tell when he came up that he had the right demeanor to fit in with a ball club and make that very smooth transition that can be tough for rookies, especially a guy coming in with expectations that he was?
Well, you know, an exterior can be deceptive, and he did have that cool about him. And but you know what he's done. You know, you show it with your bat and in your glove in the field, and there he is again with a chance.
Takes it himself, 2 out.
But I saw him in spring and loved his swing, and you just know certain guys stand out that just have know they have a chance to be a good chance to be a pretty darn good player.
What are you looking for from him at first base that you haven't seen yet defensively?
Well, you know, he's kind of a big kid and gangly, and he's not real quick-footed, and he needs to work a little bit on his footwork, and I think it's because he's tall and just hasn't really grown into his body yet. But
he hasn't grown into his body yet.
Well, that might be the.
How much time do we have?
He's only
24.
23.
He's 24.
Yeah.
So he's never going to be really quick out there, but he's got good hands.
Great hands.
And he's got a good, strong arm, accurate arm, and he knows what he's doing out there. He knows how to play the position.
It's a head position, isn't it? You got to be smart.
Well, no one gets more action over in any position in the field outside of the catcher, if you think about it.
You used to say you could put anybody over at first base. The Yankees put Mickey Mantle there at the end of his career.
Right. That's really changed.
When we were kids, they used to put him in right field, remember?
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah.
Is that what they put you, Gary?
No, I was a shortstop. I just couldn't hit. Threw the hole in a base hit for Brandon Inge. The 4th hit off Dicky.
Gary, in the next inning, I want you to think about it. I want you to tell the fans, what is your favorite Met moment of all time? And it doesn't have to be a game. It could be an out. It could be a hit.
My favorite Mets moment of all time.
Your favorite Met moment. When did you become a Met fan?
I'll tell you what, I'll do that if you do the same.
Okay, I'll do the same.
Fair enough. But meanwhile, we tease the people about Lady Gaga.
Yes.
And I've got my David Wright Go Gaga for David finger. So,
right. This is the correct finger.
Right.
That we wanted to show to Lady Gaga.
Giving out tonight.
Let me tell you what happened there, why I got upset. I didn't really get upset, first of all. Now, I think it's fair to say that we're all big fans of Lady Gaga. Lame, out-of-it white guys in their mid-50s is her core audience. But I'm very protective of my Met fans. I love my Met fans, and I did not like the finger.
I thought it was a little disrespectful.
Yeah, it was disrespectful.
She's a guest.
A guest in our podcast.
And you're sweet.
And
yeah.
She was in front row seats.
Yeah.
And she was upset with that.
Well, we don't understand the kids today and the music business. Maybe that's maybe, you know, I'm sure we'll all be bigger fans now that she's cursed us out.
It's been ever thus, right?
Yes, that's the way it works. I didn't see what she was wearing. I heard she was wearing some sort of studded bikini thing. And that's always great at a baseball game.
Well, does it make you feel better that she also took her semi-clothed self to Yankee Stadium?
What happened there? Did anything happen?
Well, she didn't give anybody any, part of her, hand.
She should make a nice apology to the Met fans. Come on.
Yes.
We had her as a guest. And then I'm willing to forget the whole thing.
Everything okay in your seats now?
Yeah, everything's okay with me.
They didn't trash.
No, we brought the bedbug dog in. Rusty, what's his name? The Beagle. And it's all clean.
3-1 to Alex Avila.
Can we talk about the commercials that run in between?
See, we don't ever
How many
see
cars can we buy?
We don't ever see the commercials or hear them. No. Actually, we just got our screen in our booth. Just came in this week, which shows us the commercials, but we don't watch them.
Well, it's brutal. I'll tell you that. Because it's the same commercials. I mean, that's baseball. If you're going to watch your team, you're going to watch the same commercials for 9 months. There's a pop-up.
And Jason Bay's got it. 4 shutout innings for R.A. Dicky and a 1-0 Met lead.
Where are we in this gig? Is that the end of the second inning? Okay, favorite Met moment. You got.
We don't even know where the gecko's from.
We don't know. Weekdays at 6, only on SNY.
Well, they're having fun.
What's that?
They're creating Mets memories out there on the concourse.
Oh, okay.
You know, the food in here is great.
It's great. I love the food here. I love the whole park. They did a beautiful job. The team is great. The booth is great. Every Met fan is having a fantastic summer. They like to call FAN and complain, but the fact is we are having a ball with this team and a ball with the greatest booth in baseball.
If people didn't call to complain, there'd be no talk radio.
It wouldn't be New York.
Right. That's it.
Okay, so what we're going to do this half inning is we're going to do your favorite Met moment. And Gary, Keith, and I are first going to guess each other's favorite Met moment. And remember, it could be a hit, it could be a win, it could be a catch, it could be anything that was the absolute peak of Mets excitement for you.
Well, I'm assuming Keith's moment was
Game 7.
Feet on the desk in Game 6.
Feet on the Game 7.
Oh, well, actually, you're wrong.
No.
But you got the right game. My favorite Met moment was... Take it away, Jeff.
And there's a fly ball to center. Johnny Damon. Is that Johnny Damon at center?
There he is.
What is he doing out there? Get him in! He can't cover that much ground.
Let alone his arm.
He looks good. Oh, he's sporting a new hairstyle there.
You can actually see his neck.
And here comes Jeff Frank T. Yes. Every tooth is a hit. The more teeth.
He does strain up there with that facial expressions.
Oh, there's a drive into the left field, but it's going to be fine. The glove. I don't know the names of these guys.
That was Brennan Bosch.
Why is Detroit even here?
It's this interleague thing.
I don't get it. Although I am excited to see Andres Galarraga tomorrow night. This guy is a hero. I love this guy. Do you think he grasps the fact that what a hero he is, what an icon he's become as a man in this game, And let's talk about, has anyone else ever had a 28-out perfect game?
No.
Can't be.
Harvey Haddix had a 36-out perfect game.
That's right.
It was broken up in the 13th inning.
And he lost that game, so he lost the he lost it.
Ah, okay. So it's not a first of that.
Yep.
But he lost the game.
But it's the first of its kind. And eventually he and Jim Joyce, the umpire, are going to go on tour together the way
Johnny Dickman's got another play. No, it's called off by the left fielder. A little embarrassing, but they make the play.
So 4 innings. 1-0 Mets.
You should have been here last night. The innings were longer.
Iced tea. Well, here's your fact. R.A. Dickey's last complete game was August 20th, 2003, and it was in Detroit.
Wow.
Symmetry.
Do you like Twisted Tea, that commercial?
I just think we need more sponsors on the broadcast. However we can get them, let's get them. Okay, so we're discussing our favorite Met moments. Gary and I are, I'm guessing Keith Hernandez being in the middle of the game-winning rally, Game 7, 1986. Gary's guessing.
I'm guessing when his feet were up on the desk after he made the second out in Game 6. And when he's sitting there watching the Mets rally.
And having
TV.
A beer is the rumor. I don't know if you want to admit
I had a swig.
All right. And you want to guess what mine is? You won't guess mine. I'll give you a hint. 2006.
Really? 2006? Well,
yeah. You know.
Oh, that's the big year.
Was it the two guys scoring on one play in the series against the Dodgers?
No, that was not it.
Andy Chavez's catch?
Andy Chavez catch. Okay. We're talking about a moment now. It was a losing effort. It was a heartbreaking game. But in that moment, it was a miraculous catch. And I was at the game, and I was with my friend Matthew Broderick and my wife. And we literally jumped out of our seats. We couldn't believe he made the play. And I own his last Mets cap.
Do you really?
I do, yeah.
The Andy catch was my favorite play to call in Mets history.
Is that right? I was going to ask you that. What was your favorite call?
Because I got to do that. I only got to do one inning of each of the playoff games that year on the radio. And that happened to be my inning. I got to call Andy's catch. Because we don't get to do the games on TV during the postseason.
So do we get a hint about
So is that your favorite moment, or just your favorite moment that you called?
My favorite Met moment came before I started working here.
Ron Swoboda.
It's a good guess, but not accurate.
All right.
Kuzman.
My favorite Met moment was 1985 when my friend Jonathan and I flew on People Express to St. Louis for $49 to see that big 3-game series with the Cardinals, and we sat in the upper deck in center field. The game Ronnie pitched, and Darryl hit the clock in the 11th inning off Ken Daly. That's my favorite Met moment.
That was wow. I remember that, and the full house at Old Bush Stadium was just, you could have heard a pin drop after that ball hit the clock, and we won that game. That was a big win that night. Ronnie matched up with John Tudor. Remember, we had to go in there and win 3. He won the first 2. And I went 5 for 5 in the 3rd game loss. I remember that. I had a big night, and it wasn't big enough.
First inning, bases loaded.
Can every major leaguer remember, like you can?
Yes.
They all can.
Most can, and certain at-bats.
There's a high pop-up.
He's got it. He covers that ground.
It's a can of corn.
Yep. A lot of room in this ballpark as John runs down Damon's ball for the second out. So now we have to guess Gary's favorite moment.
Well, you got the right year. You got the wrong postseason series.
So what was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was actually it was in Houston in Game 6. That was the greatest game I ever played.
Yeah,
getting that last out. Because we won 108 games that year. We got Mike Scott. Every inning we went out there in extra innings, if they score a run, we lose. And we got Mike Scott. Now, I thought we would have beat Mike Scott, but he was the best pitcher in the game that year. We knew we were up against.
It didn't look like you were going to beat him the next time. He was dominant.
Well, he got
even if he was cheating.
Did Keith ever tell you what he said to Gary Carter during that 16th inning?
I thought you said it to Orozco.
I said it to Orozco, right.
Sorry.
I said, well, Gary got offended because, Jesse was gassed because he threw all those innings. And Roger went, 5 innings that game?
Yeah.
And Roger threw 5 innings of shutout ball. And he was toast for the World Series. He left it all there in the Astrodome. We'll get back to it. We're going to go to break.
Man, this is flying by.
Halfway through, 1-0 New York.
Is going to be the convertible sofa. See, when you move it, it tends to open up, so it's going to be real difficult getting it down the stairs.
Stairs? There's no elevator?
No, it's brownstone, 3 floors.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. I can't do it. I can't. It's too soon. I don't know you. I can't help you move. I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't.
What a great entrance that was.
Oh, gosh. Now, when Larry David wrote that episode, did he write that for Keith? I mean, the whole thing about the boyfriend, and was that written for Keith, or was it written for a character, and Keith happened to turn out to be the character?
No, it was written for Keith because, I was, obsessed with him, and he was the perfect guy because he was the kind of guy, that's the classic Girls dig him. Guys want to be like him. That's key.
I'm really very boring.
And that's why he's raking in that just for men dough.
Ruben Tejada leading off the home fifth with the Mets up 1-0, and he pulls one third.
We got a pitcher's duel here.
Brandon Inge throws him out.
All right, so let's finish off our favorite.
Wait a second, we got a Toyota text poll to get through here.
Do you think Jerry made the right decision in not helping Keith move?
Say for yes, B for no.
Obviously, no.
Or visit SNY.TV.
No, who the hell was I? I was a lowly comic in the show. I wasn't Jerry Seinfeld, the guy with the TV show. I was just a kid with a starting out in comedy.
But
I could have had a real friendship.
But you had your self-respect.
Nah, what's that worth?
I tried to move it on his girl, too. But it wasn't very nice.
That's okay. No, she wasn't my girlfriend.
If I remember, Julia was like around 3 months pregnant in that episode.
Is that right?
Yes, I think with her first.
All right, Dicky with another line drive, this time 20 feet. We love this guy. He's pitching a whale of a game here, by the way. Holding the Tigers down to 4 hits through 5.
Pitcher's duel. I mean, last night our game took forever to play, and tonight it's just zipping by.
Yeah, that's baseball.
8:20. Let's not shoot the clown.
Last night was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. That John Neese could not get that third out. How upsetting was that for John Neese?
Well, look at him. He still looks upset.
I think Jerry Manuel did the right thing. Though you got to be the daddy. You got to come out and say it's just a win. Let's not have a horrible, season-defining collapse here.
You can't lose a game that you led 10-0.
No, it would break everybody's heart. So I guess he did the right thing.
Yes.
But man, that stung. I really felt for him. But it's over now, though, right? John Neese forgotten about it.
Well, I'm sure it's still in the back of his mind, but it'll be a big lesson for him.
Well, what's the lesson, even?
Well, I think that sometimes when you get a big lead, you just kind of, I'm going to throw a fastball here.
Now, that's got to be hard, Keith. Let's be honest. With a 10-0 lead, to maintain your concentration cannot be easy. Suddenly, it's like the game's over. But you got to keep playing.
Well, with the rain delay, yeah, it's tough with that hour rain delay to come back. But, it's a lesson learned for him. I liked him from the beginning. I think he's really got a chance to be a terrific pitcher.
I love the team this year. It's one of my favorite Met teams.
Really?
Yeah. They're fun to watch. I like the personalities. They're exciting.
Reyes drives one deep right field. Back goes Ordonez, and it's out of here.
Yes! Jose Reyes cruising around third. Keith Hernandez is not liking this. Always whining about the Reyes homers. I love them. Love a homer. I don't care who hits it.
Boy, he's red hot. 6th home run of the year for Reyes, and tonight he'll have the chance for the cycle. He's got a triple, single, and home run now.
Wow. Can't believe you could see that was going out, Keith. That was amazing.
He crushed it. This is the best I've seen him swing from the left side of the plate all year.
You have got to love this.
That's a long way now. That Modell zone is that concave.
Yeah,
that's a long way.
Concave Modell zone.
Well, hey, you shouldn't have thrown it.
Now, wait a minute. That's not what I meant to do.
Well, with that home run hit by Jose Reyes and every home run at Citi Field in 2010, Stuart Rahr and Kinray's Home Runs for Charity program will donate $1,000 to the Mets Foundation. Kinray has donated $24,000 in 2010 to the Mets Foundation.
That is nice. I don't like when some of these car companies say every time somebody gets a home run, we'll give you $50. These giant car companies. Anyway, that's another issue. All right, Keith Hernandez, favorite Met moment of all time. We didn't do it.
Yes, we did.
We did?
Yes, the winning in Houston. That
moment.
That's the moment.
When you went up to the mound and said, if you throw one more fastball.
One more. Yes.
Is that what it was?
Well, no. But
what was the pitch you said?
Well, he couldn't. We're going to commercial, but Kevin Bass couldn't hit a curveball right-handed if it meant his life. So Jesse, I said, yeah, you got to throw
Here's your solo 6th inning recap. R.A. Dicky, shutout ball through 5. Jose Reyes, 3 hits for the second straight night, including a triple and a home run. David Wright, an RBI double, and a 2-0 Met lead after 5. Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Well, guys, in the spirit of Jerry Seinfeld being with us tonight, I took the liberty of taking a poll in the Mets clubhouse that if the Mets clubhouse was a Seinfeld episode, who would play what character? Who would be what character? So I'll give you a couple of answers that were my favorite. Rod Barajas said Kramer absolutely is Jeff Francoeur, because every time Francoeur talks, his head shakes and his eyes get really big. He said it's a lock, an absolute lock. Jason Bay, for the role of Jerry, said, you know what, I'll take that role. I'll put myself in the lead. And
Jason Bay
has a little bit, Jer, of that, deadpan humor. He can make you laugh. So he's an underrated laugh guy. George was a tough one. They had a hard time coming up with George.
R.A. Dicky?
Not bad.
Jay Horwitz.
Jay Horwitz, yeah.
Jay would probably be the answer, but Jay actually came up with the answer, guys. He went with Dave Jouse, and the reason? Because Jay said when he doesn't deliver the game notes on time, he gets all out of sorts like George. So,
Kevin, who's the funniest guy on the team?
That's a good question, Jerry. There's a couple of guys. I'd say Francoeur has got to be up there. I mean, he's always good for cracking jokes. You know who's underrated funny? Henry Blanco.
Henry Blanco.
Third strikeout for Dicky as he gets Magglio Ordonez. That's Hank White to his friends.
Hank White.
Jerry, by the way, you like the shirt? It's from the Jay Peterman collection. You like it? Very nice.
That's Kevin talking.
Oh, Kevin. Don't do my stuff, Kevin, please. There's nothing less funny to a comedian than his own material.
I meant to ask you that. How many times a day do people come up to you and quote lines to you?
Quite often, Gary. I just have to live with it. It's part of the profession.
Part of winning the lottery, right?
Yeah. So now we want to do favorite Met player all time. But let's not do the predictions. Let's just do them.
Well,
Gary, who's your favorite Met of all time?
But you can't say Keith.
I can't say Keith, and Keith can't say Keith. 1-1.
Darn.
Keith is one of my favorite Mets, definitely.
Who's? My favorite Met was Buddy Harrelson.
Buddy Harrelson. You look like him.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah.
Mighty.
He's a handsome guy. There's a foul ball into the seats.
Yeah, Buddy, I always liked him because he was little and played great defense, and I couldn't hit.
Right.
He struggled at the bat. He was always my favorite.
Mine was Tommy Agee.
Really?
Tommy Agee. I loved the way he played. Those 2 catches in the series. He's just. He was our Willie Mays. He had style and he had speed and
he played hard.
An exciting ball player.
He played hard.
Yeah.
There you go, right here.
There it is. What took so long? There it is. And snow cone. Beautiful catch. Just cool looking guy, too. He looked good in the uniform.
He got a bad misread on that ball. He had to kind of.
That was intentional. That was just a drama.
Lenny Dykstra move.
Keith, what's the baseball etiquette on chatting on the field like at first base? I noticed Ike Davis is quite friendly to the opposing player.
I was a chatty captain myself over there.
But they don't look at each other. As long as you don't eyeball each other. They seem to just stare straight ahead and talk. Is that the etiquette?
Well, I always would be like a CIA over there. I would do some covert. I'd try to find out how you feel at the plate. If the hitter would go, I'm red hot. I felt great. I'd go in and say, hey, this guy, so-and-so says he's feeling great at the plate. I'd tell the pitchers. I tried to distract him. It didn't work. You're not going to pick anybody off. A couple of times, though, we had pickoffs where a guy would look at me, and it would have to be the perfect timing that the pitcher would throw over if a guy glanced at me. It happened maybe 2 or 3 times in my 17 years where he picked a guy off doing that. But that wasn't planned. It just worked out. The timing was perfect. But I just tried to find out how the hitters were feeling at the plate.
So it's always talking baseball?
Oh, no. We would look into the stands in between pitches.
Okay. No need to elaborate on that.
Looking for hot dogs?
Looking for Lady Gaga, I think.
Particularly in Los Angeles, in Dodger Stadium.
I think that rhinestone got in my eye.
2-2 to Cabrera. And another knuckleball foul back.
Keith, who's your favorite Met all time besides you?
Mookie.
Mookie, yeah, good choice. Ronnie Darling, I am really missing Ronnie here. He is so classy, so smart. He's almost too smart to be a baseball player, don't you think? He could have thought himself right out of the game. He's so perceptive, don't you think?
Yes.
He's a thinking baseball player. David Wright making a nice 360 put out at first base.
You could do this, you know.
I think I am doing it.
You're good.
I can't really do it because if anything was really happening, I would get so excited I couldn't talk.
You have to channel that.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that. David Wright's one of my favorite Mets. David and Jose, that left side, there's a lot of Met fans that are here tonight for that left side of the infield. They are exciting. They're fun. They're just a lot of energy there, a lot of excitement. And I think this is their year. What do you think of that?
Fans
all right, Dicky making a nice play.
Fans love homegrown talent. The Mets have all homegrown talent on that infield and a 2-0 lead tonight.
The way that these guys will change their facial hair every 3 days, it's like Mr. Woolley with the magnet. I mean, it's never the same look for a week. You know what else interests me about baseball? The procedure that each player has.
His routine?
His routine. There's a sharp line foul ball. Yeah, David has to wipe his mouth with the shirt. He's got to do the blow with the two hands out. Let's see if he does it.
There you go.
There it is. He didn't wipe the mouth with the shirt. Maybe he'll get ahead. No. David is amazing. Is he still? How's his strikeout ratio after the rough start?
He's doing better now.
Yep.
Fewer strikeouts lately.
He's swinging better. He's kind of leveled his swing off a little bit more, Jerry. He was swinging so up early in the season.
I think David felt pressure this year for some reason. I think it's the right year for David and Jose. I think everybody thought it was going to be 2006, and I think they've kind of got some seasoning now, and they've got more. They've had some heartbreak, which can be a good thing after you survive it.
And how it goes down. Third strikeout for Bonderman. But you know what also has worked for David on this team? The personalities have changed around him.
Yeah.
The Frank Coras and the Bays and the Barajas's are all such positive, outgoing people that, David doesn't have an answer to the writers every day, after every game. And it takes the pressure off.
I think Carlos Beltran's going to walk in here and go, who are these guys? I think there's a whole different personality to the team.
It's It's very much a positive. It's a good group, good clubhouse.
You can't tell me these guys don't have a shot this season to play meaningful October baseball, as Steve Summers likes to say.
I think that this group here has such the most togetherness, and I don't think it's as talented as the 2016.
What's talent when you've got
exactly
a team?
Exactly.
Right?
Great. It goes a lot. It goes a long way. There's no question.
I mean, they've got the talent, but they've got a sense of team.
And you also need surprises. And already Dicky counts as about as big a surprise as anybody could have imagined.
Well, how about Ike Davis? Nobody thought he was going to be here.
And Pagan.
Takahashi.
And what happens if Jason Bay all of a sudden has a great second half? I mean, he hasn't really done much the whole first half. Is he going to do this all year? I mean, he's had too many great years.
How many RBIs does he have?
29. He had 119 last year.
It's been a struggle for him.
Maybe we shouldn't be trying to be so funny.
Well, he's Canadian, you know. It's a different sensibility.
You think? Yes, it is.
Ike hits one the other way.
Hey, there we go. See, I can't make the call. I get too excited about the hit.
Well, people can see the hit. It's television.
No, but you want to hear you say it. Your enthusiasm, Gary, makes the game. I'll tell you that right now. And you have a great voice. You're just great.
He's at his best.
He is great.
He's at his best in the blowout games when it's 10-0 in the third, and then we got to work. That's when he prides himself. I can fall asleep.
Right.
He keeps me awake.
There's nothing wrong with falling asleep, by the way, on the job. Let me just say that. Because when a guy's head hits the desk, you are getting every last nickel out of that guy. He is working as hard as he can.
At least he didn't sleep under the desk like Costanza.
That was a good episode. I like that.
I wanted to ask you, could George have worked for the Mets?
No. George had to work for the Yankees because it was a better mismatch. That was the last place he belonged, was with a button-down organization. That would not have worked comedically. Keith, you were talking last night about why we changed the first scene so much in the episode The Boyfriend.
Yes, that was the one. I remember I had to memorize all those lines, and I didn't know I was going to be the guest star, and I was terrified. And Marcia Mason was a friend of mine, and I called her, and she was in Santa Fe, and she told me how to memorize lines. So I memorized everybody's lines. In every scene I was in, I knew everybody's lines. So I knew that the opening scene, I had to interact with Jerry and Jason. And they changed that scene. Even the day we had to go before the live audience, they made an alteration. And I blew that scene. That was the only scene that I really blew. And
That's not blowing. There's no blowing. You're supposed to make mistakes. It's like a foul ball. Anyway, I smell a rally in this inning. I'm feeling something here. 2-2 to Jason Bay. I think he's just sick of it. He's sick of not being the man. Now it's time to start a nice rally.
You think this ballpark's too big, Jerry?
No, I just think the wall's too high and left.
Okay.
That's trouble. That is going to be trouble. He gets first. He won't get two. All right. Well, it wasn't that exciting.
Good play by Santiago. 2 out. Let's check in with Kevin.
The Bay guys today about the power, and he said, look, no one wants to hit more home runs than me. I know I need to hit more home runs, but the thing is, in a strange way, I feel comfortable hitting here, and I think our team feels comfortable hitting here. He almost gave the feeling that, last year all the talk was about home runs. The Mets only hit 49 home runs here. Well, this year, the home run by Reyes tonight was only the 26th here. That's second to last in the National League. So it's almost like the team has gotten over the whole home run thing and just learned to deal with using this ballpark to your advantage. Of course, Jay said, look, I'm not trying to hit opposite field singles. I still feel a hot streak is in me. It just hasn't happened yet, guys.
That's probably a terrible thing to be thinking, I want to hit more homers. That's got to be, it's like the same way those home run derbies, I think, screws up a lot of guys.
You make a good point.
There was an argument made that It was a detriment to David right after he was in the home run derby a few years ago.
It's a bouncing ball up the middle. An inning-ending second out. Second base out.
6 in the books. 2-0 New York.
Doesn't sound good. Second base out.
Right decision in not helping Keith move. It's a close decision.
Pretty close, but I think
they supported your self-respecting decision not to move too quickly.
Maybe they were thinking it was better for the show, but in real life. See, you didn't really ask the question, is it real life or comedy life?
Well, if you had become Keith's best friend, he would have had to become a regular on the series.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Think of the residuals.
He wouldn't be here.
That's for sure.
He'd be on the LIE.
We'd miss him, by the way.
Carlos Guillen stands in. 0 for 2. Meanwhile, R.A. Dicky pitching a whale of a game here. Getting no attention from us.
4 hits. Shutout.
What a dream it is for this guy. How old is R.A. Dicky?
35.
35 years old.
But as he says, his knuckleball's only 27. Guillen retired for the first out.
How long is he? When did he start throwing the knuckleball?
3-4 years ago, full time. So he's still a neophyte.
So there's how many Hoyt Wilhelm? How many great knuckleballers have there been?
Phil Negro.
Phil Negro.
What was the old?
Wilbur Wood.
Yes.
Joe Negro.
There was an old timer that was a knuckleballer too.
Charlie Huff. Hoyt Wilhelm.
But Charlie Huff wasn't a great knuckleballer.
Tom Candiotti. I mean, if you talk about Hall of Fame caliber, Wilhelm and Negro. That's it, right?
Yeah, right.
How many no decisions does Dicky have so far?
One. His first start, he had no decision. He's won his last 5 starts.
As the Mets have won every game he's pitched? No.
No, they lost the first one.
That's right. That's right. Lost the first one.
Incredible.
Brandon Inge has one of the 4 hits for the Tigers tonight. Well, that knuckleball has just been floating. And he's throwing it for strikes, which is something he's been doing more and more.
Jerry's getting happy with the talkback button. He's having a conversation.
He's talking to the producer.
He told me to hit the talkback button.
Inge goes around. 4th strikeout for Dicky. He's retired 9 in a row.
He is cruising.
This is really an incredible story.
R.A. Dicky?
Yes,
it is. It's just, look at that silly ball. It just floats around. It looks so funny, a knuckleball. It looks like a kid who let go of a helium balloon.
Yes, and it looks easier to hit when it's in slow motion.
Right.
But in record speed. And slow motion gives you you can see the seams and not moving, and that's a great shot of that. But it doesn't really give you the visual of the ball's movement in real time, obviously, because you see slow motion. Duh.
All right, well, I'm going to go and stretch at the end of this half inning. Is there anything left that we haven't covered?
Oh, tell us about Gil Hodges.
Oh, I love Gil Hodges. I love the tippy-toe walk out to the mound with the two hands in the back pocket. That's another big part of baseball, I think, that we could talk about more, is the physical mannerisms of baseball players that fans enjoy.
There you go.
Tippy-toe. Very, very delicate, very gentle. So he's a gentleman. This is what we miss in baseball, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm going to take that righty, please, and side of fries. Dicky falls behind on Avila. 3-1. But you feel comfortable. You feel confident. You feel like he's in command. Look at how far to the right he stands with the rubber.
Very perceptive of you, Mr. Seinfeld.
And he gets a
fastball, and he's going to get out of this.
10 in a row for Dicky, and this was fantastic.
This was an honor. It was an honor to be a part of your booth. It really was. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, the Ralph Kiner Resort, where you'll enjoy 2 amazing theme parks, non-stop nightlife, and a 3-night stay on site at the exciting Hard Rock Hotel. All you have to do is go to sny.tv/Toyota and enter the Toyota Fan Flyaway Sweepstakes today. Joel Zumaya on the right, Bill Cope, the left-hander, on the left. Getting ready in the Detroit bullpen as Jeremy Bonderman starts the bottom of the 7th, facing Henry Blanco, who bounces one through the hole for a base hit. So the Mets get the leadoff man on for only the 2nd time in the game against Bonderman, with Ruben Tejada coming up. Well, that was refreshing, I have to say.
Yes, it's like one thing I remember about doing the show, that episode, was when the camera, when I said lights, camera, action, as Leland comes out to make a pitching change, everybody, the principal actors, all elevated their personalities.
Yeah, maybe he's not taking them out.
Nope, he's throwing a good ball game.
He's only thrown 67 pitches. This has been such a well-pitched game on both sides. And he's due to lead off in the 8th inning, so I'm sure Leland would love to get Bonderman through this 7th. But I guess that's true of ball players, too, isn't it, when the lights go on?
Yeah, it's part of the performance. And I thought Jerry was great. Jerry, by the way, folks, he did not want to really go and talk about the Seinfeld show and the details or the little nuances of the show. We want to talk baseball.
Yeah, that's what he came here for.
Yeah, so we were basically told by Jerry that he didn't want to go there. He wanted to do the game.
I think we got a little bit of insight from you and he about some of what went on. But I think the one thing I got from Jerry more than anything else, and he talked about it, was just how much enjoyment he gets out of watching baseball, and specifically the Mets play. It's a big part of his life.
And I also got the feeling that what most Met fans, how he feels about this team, and I think a lot of Met fans feel about this team. This team is likable, and they hustle, and I think that there's an affection for this ball club.
Well, I remember we talked about this going back to spring training, that we knew that the clubhouse situation was better, and we wondered whether it would translate on the field. And I think that despite a few stumbles early on, that's what's happened. But more importantly, even before the team started winning as much as they have the last 3 weeks, I think the fans have been able to see what we saw in that clubhouse back at Port St. Lucie, that this is a team that's going to play hard every day, and it's maybe a lot more fun to watch than some others of recent past.
Well, this is a blue-collar team right here, and it has a lot of appeal. And look at our ballpark tonight, Gary. It is filled up to the brim with people. It was a full house tonight. Hardly any empty seats.
Yeah, I thought they'd all stay home to watch Jerry with us.
Well, they can watch over behind center field fence, the live feed.
They could all be TiVoing the game.
Well, that's true. That's right, TiVo.
Don't say that. Blanco at first and nobody out.
Well, this is a big crowd tonight.
2-0 to Tejada with Dicky on deck. And he lines a base hit. Blanco to second, takes the turn and holds there as Bosch picks it up. So that's huge. Not only a base hit for Tejada, giving him a 7-game hitting streak, but now you can get Dicky up there to bunt him over.
Well, he took a rip here. He was sitting on the fastball. Nicely done. This young man continues to impress.
And that's going to be it for Bonderman. An odd place to take him out of the game with the pitcher coming up ready to bunt. But Jim Leland, making his second trip to the mound, will pull Bonderman and bring on the fireballing right-hander Joel Zamaya. It's called to the bullpen, brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. 25-year-old Joel Zumaya comes on. His numbers brought to you by StubHub.
Well, he's bounced back. He's had an injury-riddled career. In 2006, he burst on the scene with a 6-3 record of 1.94 earned run average over 62 games. Oh, boy.
And it gets above the glove of Avila, allowing the runners to move to second and third. So Dicky up there to sacrifice, and Zumaya took care of it for him.
Well, these are big runs, obviously, right here. What a gift this is.
Well, you know, it's interesting because Bonderman got pulled in a bunting circumstance. Sometimes you like the fireballer in there to try and knock the bat out of the bunter's hands, but the first one misfired. So a wild pitch moves the runners to second and third and forces Jim Leland to bring his infield in, already down 2-0.
Well, the infield's got to come in now. Late in the ball game, down 2 runs.
Dicky 0 for 2 tonight, and he takes another fastball high. Dicky has 2 runs batted in this season, and he's hitting an even 300, 3 for 10.
Every season, ever since 2006, Zumaya has been on the disabled list.
Had shoulder surgery last August to end his season, but has come back healthy this year. But he's having trouble throwing strikes. Well, you got the opposing pitcher up there, and he's thrown 3 balls in a row. He's only walked 7 batters this year in 34 2/3 innings. This is a little unusual for Zumaya. Blanco, a slow runner at third. Tejada at second. And ball 4. Wow. So Zumaya with a wild pitch, then walks Dicky, and the Mets on the bases loaded and nobody out.
Well, this is pretty much what happened last night when the Tigers went to their bullpen.
Funny thing is, the Tigers have had the best bullpen ERA in the American League coming into this series. They had, you know, their lesser guys pitching last night, but Zumaya is one of their frontline guys. Phil Koch up alongside Enrique Gonzalez in the Detroit bullpen, and now Reyes steps in, a double shy of the cycle. Reyes was the last Met to hit for the cycle. That was in 2006.
Got to be sitting on the fastball. And he was.
Reyes tripled to right center in the first, singled up the middle in the third, and hit a home run just over the Mo zone in the fifth, his 6th of the year. 3 for 3, a stolen base, 2 runs scored, and a run driven in for Reyes tonight. 6 hits in his last 2 games. It's got his average up to 284 for the year. Ground ball right side, run down by Guillen. His throw was hard.
Oh, what a play.
That's a fantastic play by Guillen. It looked like he was thinking about second, about first, but threw off balance home and got Blanco on the 4th play.
Oh, you kids at home, know your base runners. Henry Blanco, Guillen knew, has slow a foot, made the proper play. That is just a big league heads-up play right here. He had to go to his left, spin and throw. Very headsy play. Now they can play it about halfway in the middle infield, go for 2.
Jesus Feliciano is batting for Angel Pagan. Now, we didn't see anything happen to Pagan, but clearly there's got to be some issue with Angel. Feliciano batting for him. Pagan tonight went 0 for 2 and a walk.
Well, that's a concern.
He did not have a play in the field in the last 2 innings. And the last time he batted was in the 5th when he flied out. So there certainly hasn't been anything apparent with Pagan tonight that you would think would lead him to be taken out of the game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Mets up 2-0 in the 7th. And Feliciano trying to cash in, looking for his first big league RBI. The 31-year-old rookie hitting an even 200.
Well, I got my first text here. My Met fan friends.
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh, they loved it.
Good. 1-1 to Feliciano. Ground ball weakly hit. Guillen is going to come to first base. Run comes home. First big league RBI for Feliciano. Makes it 3-0 New York. Guillen thought about throwing home, but with Tejada coming in on the slow ground ball, no chance.
Well, you're right here, and he realizes again. See, he had a chance to catch the ball and look to see if he had a play, and said, no, I don't, and still get the runner at first. So, really, heads up. And a big run driven in.
So Feliciano cashes his first big league RBI. Now David Wright, who leads the league in runs batted in. An RBI double tonight, giving him 56 for the year, one more than Troy Gloss, whose Braves are still in rain delay status last we checked in Chicago. Let's go back and take a look at Pagan's last at bat in the fifth.
Uh-oh, you're right, a Wentz
fouled the ball off, and for what that was, but whatever it was, it appears to have led to the end of Pagan's night.
Oblique back. I'm speculating, guessing, so don't take my word for it.
David takes high. Wright is 1 for 3 tonight. Ike Davis on deck, first base open. Dicky is on third, and Reyes at second. Mets have 7 hits tonight after cranking out 16 last night. Two and out. Kevin Burkhardt is reporting that before the game tonight in the Mets clubhouse, he saw Pagan with quite a lot of ice around his midsection. So you wonder whether this is something that's been brewing.
I was going to say that, but they said torso, and I asked the truck, what the heck's the torso? A torso is a whole large area. You got to
your trunk.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A lot of muscles in that trunk. 2-1 to right. Fouled away. 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Zumaya.
He can throw hard.
He's had more pitches clocked in triple digits than any pitcher in baseball over the last couple of years. That might change now with Strasburg in the National League.
Boy, he's the real deal, Strasburg.
Took his first loss tonight, 1-0 to Kansas City, but he struck out 9 and walked none in 6 innings. 2-2 to right. And the breaking ball from Zumaya. 3-2. That's the show-me pitch.
Well, he actually wanted to throw it for a strike, but his bread and butter is the cheddar, and David's got to be sitting on it.
With first base open, would he throw another breaking ball here?
You can make a mistake with a breaking ball a lot easier than you can with a fastball, especially when you throw 99 miles an hour. Take my chances with number 1.
And he does, and David fouls it off. Another 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's some giddy-up.
Zumaya is in his 5th year with the Tigers. He's only 25 years old. Brought him up in their American League Championship year of 2006, and he was brilliant that year. Again, the 3-2. Too high, ball 4, and Davis will come up with the bases loaded. Now let's see if Jim Leland goes to his lefty. He's had Phil Koch throwing.
And he is. He's going to flip-flop.
Pitcher due to lead off for the Tigers in the 8th. So the former Yankee Phil Koch will come on. Mets up 3-0 and looking for more. Wise Bobby Ojeda during the third inning of tomorrow's Mets-Tigers game. Go to SNY.TV, click on the link, and join the conversation. It's Chat Live with Bobby Ojeda, presented by Verizon, only on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Let's ask our AT&T trivia question. What Mets player turned out to be the second spitter in the classic Seinfeld episode, The Boyfriend? Ryan Rayburn, normally an outfielder, comes in to play third base. He'll bat ninth for the Tigers as Phil Coke, the former Yankee, comes in to face Ike Davis with the bases loaded.
Well, another one of the big guys out of that bullpen for Detroit, the guys that they go to when the games are on the line.
Davis tonight 1 for 3, singled to left his last time up.
Pretty much straight up against Ike. A little pull on the left side of the infield. Nice breaking ball. Santiago up the middle at short.
Dicky's been on the bases for quite a long time during this inning.
Bases loaded.
That's a 1-run home here in the 7th. And takes the breaking ball for a strike, 0-2.
Two good sliders. This one's a strike. First one wasn't, but this one's wicked. And you can see right there that 2 fingers on the side of the ball. There's the backside circle of that baseball.
Phil Coke was in 72 games for the Yankees last year. Came over in the same deal that brought them Austin Jackson, with Curtis Granderson going to the Bronx. Pulled toward the home, base hit. Dicky comes in. Reyes right behind him. The throw goes to third. Right slides in. St. Owens out. Out at third base, but 2 runs score on the base hit by Ike Davis. And the Mets score 3 in the 7th to take a 5-0 lead. Jesus Feliciano, who pinch hit, stays in the game in center field, and we'll wait for a medical report on Angel Pagan. R.A. Dickey, who spent a lot of time on the bases in the last half inning, has thrown 87 pitches through 7 innings. He has not thrown more than 7 innings in any of his major league starts this year, but he went 8 innings or more in 6 of his 8 minor league starts this year. Pedro Feliciano will stay ready in case Dickey needs help. R.A. now with a 5-0 lead. Ike Davis with a 2-run single to cap that 3-run 7th inning for the Mets.
Boy, just Nice clutch hitting by Ike Davis. Poor pitch selection from Phil Coke. 0-2 with 2 sliders and hangs him an 0-2 slider with a pitch to waste. And did he give Ike credit? He had 0-2 count on him, 2 wicked sliders, and he stayed in. That's what he does against lefties that I like. Ryan Rayburn, just in the game in a double switch, takes a strike. David Wright getting thrown out at third to end that inning on a relay throw by the shortstop. 9-6-5. You don't see that very often. Close play at third. Hate to make the last out of the inning at third base. Well, you want to force the throw, force the cutoff. They take the chance. I'm not going to. That's an aggressive play on David's part. Johnny Damon on deck. 2-1 to Rayburn. Well, the Tigers last night managed to scrap back after the Mets took a big early lead. Wound up with 6 runs and 8 hits. Tonight, Dicky has shut them down completely. No runs, 4 hits. David Wright in front of that ground ball and slings it over to get Rayburn for the first out. That's 11 in a row retired by Dicky. Well, you got the bases loaded here. It's a ground ball. Take the chance. Actually a nice play by the right fielder, Ordonez, and a good relay, and they did get him. You know, you want to say you can sacrifice yourself here, Garrett, for that 5th run. Grand Slam doesn't beat you. But it's not like they were going to throw out Reyes at the plate. I understand. But I'd rather see aggressive base running. I have no problem with David trying to stretch it to third. Damon is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled and stole a base in the 3rd inning. And Damon drives one to center right at Feliciano, and he reaches down to grab it. 2 out. 12 in a row for R.A. Dickey. Let's check in with the studio. Chris Carlin standing by for a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. All right, Chris. Enrique Gonzalez keeps throwing in the Detroit bullpen. Ramon Santiago grounds one right to Tejada. 8 scoreless innings for R.A. Dickey. He's retired 13 Tigers in a row. 7 years since his only complete game. He might have a chance for another tonight. Point one. He's not going to pitch the 9th inning. 4-hit shutout. Come on, Skip, leave me in there. I mean, he's a knuckleball pitcher. Come on, Skip, leave me in there. I don't understand that. I feel good. Well, Frankie Rodriguez looks like he's going to pitch the 9th inning. Clearly, it's a non-save situation, but this may just be a matter of Jerry Manuel feeling as though he needs to get Frankie to work. Meanwhile, Enrique Gonzalez will pitch the bottom of the 8th. His numbers brought to you by StubHub. Gonzalez pitched an inning in the game last night, allowed no runs and 1 hit.
Well, Dickey's last complete game came in 2003. It came in Detroit. It was a shutout. Might have had a chance for one tonight, but that will not happen. Instead, he will have to settle for his 6th consecutive win if the Mets can hang on to the lead. Jason Bay leads off for the last of the 8th. Bay is 0 for 3 tonight.
He walked 2 guys, Dickey, in the first inning, and then did not issue a walk the rest of the way.
The last base runner was a 2-out single by Brandon Inge in the 4th. After that, Dickey retired 13 Tigers in a row and made it look pretty easy. He was able to throw his knuckleball for strikes and hold the Tigers to just 4 hits over 8 scoreless. And now Gonzalez behind on base, 3-0. Jeremy Bonderman went 6 innings plus for Detroit, charged with 4 runs, 7 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Joel Zumaya, 2/3 of an inning, walked a couple, was charged with a run. And Phil Cope worked a 1/3 of an inning, gave up a 2-run single to Davis. Bay walks on 4 pitches to lead off the bottom of the 8th. Get to Citi Field as the series with the Tigers concludes tomorrow night at 7:10 p.m. Get the best seats direct from the Mets at Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX. So now Frank Core is 0 for 3. Just 1 hit in his last 13 at-bats after a month-long hot streak. Final game of the series tomorrow. Mets hope to be bidding for a sweep. Your Mercedes probables. Isanori Takahashi tries to keep his fine roll going against the imperfect Armando Galarraga. 1-2 to Frank Core.
Boy, right down the middle. He swung right through it. Jeff is a low ball hitter. He's his belts high. A lot of plates. He's right on it. But the bat's under it.
Knocked down by Avila, 2-2. Well, the Mets began the night a game and a half behind the first place Braves, who are still waiting out a rain delay. They've not started in Chicago. Tim Hudson scheduled against Mark Burley. With those two going, they could play in about an hour and 45 minutes.
They're both on.
Well, Burley is just probably the quickest worker in the game. I guess that's an R? Lowercase r?
Yes.
For rain?
Oh.
Loop out of the shallow right. Ordonez coming on the slide and make the catch. Nicely done by Magley Ordonez. Doesn't have much in terms of wheels, but turned it on there.
A nice play by Maglio.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Henry Blanco got the Mets 3-run 7th started with a single to left. 1 for 3 on the night. It's one to deep left center field. Damon going back, has room. Day goes back to tag a little belatedly, so he can't go. Now there are 2 out. You always want to tag up when you can with Damon because he has such a notoriously poor arm. Mets took advantage of that regularly when the Mets clashed with the Yankees and Damon was on the other side.
Good time for Bay if he feels up to it. Chipper enough to steal a base here with 2 outs.
Jason is 10 for 10 stealing bases this year. Remember the year Kevin McReynolds went 21 for 21?
Yes, I do.
That was in '88. Here's Ruben Tejada, 1 for 3, singled and scored a run on the 7th.
I remember 2 players in that '88 playoff against the Dodgers that had in Game 6 had great games. Coney and McReynolds hit the 2 home runs. Did he have 2 home runs that game? I'm not sure, but he had a big game. It was Game 6.
Unfortunately, the only games I remember in that series are Game 4 and Game 7. Not good memory.
No.
Game 4, the social home run.
Game 7, I made one of my worst fielding blunders ever. But Alfredo Griffin up and the bunt and the pop up, and I just boxed that play and opened up the floodgates. Steve Sachs, I believe, followed with a base hit. And I just felt horrible about that.
Slider on the corner. 1-2. Two, fisted toward the middle. Guillen moves over and throws out Tejada to end the inning. Leadoff walk. Mets kept off the board. Frankie Rodriguez will try and finish it off as we go to a bunch of the Mets players, including Jason Bay and Ike Davis, were on hand today to help with that. Great work, guys. Frankie Rodriguez into pitch. First man up, Maglio Ordonez. 1 pitch and 1 out of the 9th.
You do all that, and then they come out and play at night.
Frankie Rodriguez hasn't worked since Friday night when he picked up his 16th save at Yankee Stadium. So rather than give him a 5th straight day off, Jerry Manuel brings him in relief of R.A. Dicky, who went 8 brilliant innings tonight, shutting out the Tigers on 4 hits, walking 2 and striking out 4, and in line for his 6th win in 6 starts after a no decision in his first outing. Miguel Cabrera is 0 for 3 tonight, and he takes ball 1. Here's the answer to your AT&T trivia question. Any Seinfeld fan knows that the second spitter was Roger McDowell.
Of course.
That was one magic loogie.
They asked me who would be the best guy for the second spitter. I said Roger McDowell, but I go, he's in Jackson, Mississippi. And they said, So we'll fly him in. And they flew him in.
No expense spared. Mets have done a good job against Cabrera so far in this series. Just 1 for 7 against the most dangerous bat in the Tiger lineup. Well, the Mets, if they secure 2 more outs, will go to 26-10 at home this year. It would be their 12th win in their last 13 games at Citi Field. 2-2 to Cabrera with Brennan Bosch on deck. Mets tonight are bidding for their 10th shutout victory of the year. Last year they had just 11 shutouts all season. And he has been quite a find, hasn't he?
Been a savior.
We saw him pitch against the Mets for Seattle a couple of years ago, when he was just starting to kick that knuckleball into gear, as Cabrera picks up his first base hit of the night and snaps a string of 14 straight Tigers retired. There's the 5th hit of the night for Detroit. Coming up tonight after the postgame and at 1 a.m. catch the only New York sports news show and highlight show in town. Bobby V to the Marlins, perhaps. The U.S. soccer team won the second half. That was beating Algeria. And the NBA draft preview on Geico Sports Night tonight after the postgame at 1 a.m. right here on SNY. By the way, I'm not a big soccer guy, but that was one of the most amazing sporting events I've ever seen this afternoon.
I missed it.
A second half where the U.S. had to score a goal, had 100 different chances, and finally in the 91st minute, Landon Donovan scored to put the U.S. into the round of 16. Quite something.
Are you a soccer fan or just a World Cup fan?
Really, I played a little soccer in high school, and I don't really watch much, but I got caught up in it today. I mean, so many things happen in sports today. How about that Wimbledon match? The two guys are tied 59-59 in the 5th set. Are you kidding? Bosch hits one down the left field line that slices away foul. I mean, it's the longest match in history.
Yes.
It's going to go into a 3rd day.
What was that, McEnroe? Was it McEnroe-Bohr?
Yeah, that was 1816.
The War of 1816, they called it.
But this is 59 all.
So no one blinked.
No 5th set tiebreakers.
Think about it. Think about that.
So this has been quite a day.
It was a tiebreaker, the McEnroe match.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. Remember there was a Pancho Gonzalez match way back when in the U.S. Open. I remember we played with Charlie Passerell, maybe, that went an enormous number of games in the last set. One and 2 to Brennan Bosch. 0 for 2 tonight after a long homer last night. Just off the corner, and it's 2-2. Now the 2-2. Little dribbler up the third baseline foul. Well, tomorrow night, Isanori Takahashi goes for the Mets. Over the weekend, the Mets play the Twins. Mike Pelfrey opens the series Friday night. Johan Santana faces his old team Saturday afternoon. Been quite a distraction for Santana today with a news report about a sexual assault charge a year ago, and apparently the charges were dropped, and Johan basically said that to the media today, and the Mets said, look, we're aware of it, it's a personal matter, and hopefully is the end of that.
And the case is closed.
The case is closed. Charges were not filed, period. But it became a cause célèbre for a while this afternoon. 3-2 to Bosch. And I guess the thing you worry about only is that it not be a distraction for the player.
Right. I think that it was handled properly today. It'll be yesterday's news. And on with it. I don't think it's going to affect this ball club or that gentleman right there.
It's just a personal matter for him. 3-2 now to Bosch. Popped up in foul ground. That'll go out of play. Tigers have been shut out 5 times this year. They came in here riding high. They had won 8 of 9, but the Mets pummeled them last night, and Dicky has fluttered them tonight.
Well, they're a team similar to the Mets. They have not played well on the road. They thrive at home.
13-20 on the road this season. Bouncing ball toward the middle. Reyes runs it down and makes the play in time. Reyes showing off his range, gets Bosch for the second out.
Well, nice play by Jose. Jose has got his quickness back. You can tell right now that, look at the break on the ball, other side of the bag. I think maybe 3 weeks ago, coming off not the injury.
The thyroid
that sidelined him through most of spring. I think he's got his legs back. The old acceleration is there, the quickness.
So now the Tigers are down to their final out. Carlos Guillen 0 for 3, 3 ground balls to the right side. Nothing in 1 to Guillen. Well, the final game of this series tomorrow, the Mets hope to be going for the sweep. Isanori Takahashi against Armando Galarraga. Our coverage on SNY begins tomorrow night at 6:30. Oh, 1 to Guillen. And it's a little bit low. Pitcher spot is due up next. Don Kelly has come out on deck for the Tigers to bat if Guillen can keep the game going. One to Guillen. Check swing, and it was out of the strike zone. 2-1. By the way, Dave Freed looked up Kevin McReynolds' game 6 in '88. Only one home run,
but 4 for 4 and 3 ribeye steaks.
Yeah,
he had a big day.
Two-1 from K-Rod. And it's low, ball 3. On 3-1, Guillen swings and misses. And now the Tigers are down to their final strike. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Frankie Rodriguez gets the final 3 outs to complete the Mets' 10th shutout victory of the season. R.A. Dickey goes 8 innings, gets his 6th consecutive win. The first Met ever to go 6-0 over his first 7 starts as a Met. And the Mets just keep on rolling at Citi Field. They've now won 12 of their last 13 home games.
Well, a truly team effort. This was a very well played game by the Mets, both offensively and defensively. Obviously, Dickey's the story here, but Ike Davis with a big 2-out, 2 RBI single that kind of put the ice the game in the 7th inning. Jose Reyes remains hot. 3 more hits, 3 runs. He's on fire. He scores. Mets win.
Well, R.A. Dickey has been nothing short of a revelation for this team. The 35-year-old knuckleballer had a no decision in his first start as a Met. He has won all 6 of his starts since then, and never better than tonight when he went 8 innings for the first time this season, allowed just 4 hits, walked a couple, struck out 4, and the Mets are victorious again to go to 11 games over 500 for the season. They lost 2 straight over the weekend at Yankee Stadium. They've come home and won the first 2 of this series, and they'll be going for the sweep tomorrow night with Takahashi on the mound against Galarraga.
Well, I always like this shot with guys coming back, the high fives. You can just see the togetherness of this ball club and the confidence that they're building. There's no greater feeling when this team's been through a lot early, a lot of down period, a lot of negativity and playing poorly, and now to turn it around. It's wonderful.
Well, R.A. Dickey front and center tonight, and he's standing by on the field with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
All right, this has been an incredible run. What's this feeling been like for you as you take them out in these games?
I think it's just a real reflection of the culture in the clubhouse. I'm just trying to be an overflow of what that represents in there. We got a lot of great guys on the team and a lot of guys who are pulling for one another, so it's a nice dynamic.
You have been so good with runners on scoring position. It seems like, you like the drama in the first inning, base is loaded, and you find a way to get out of it again. How did you do it?
I'd rather be good against the leadoff guy instead of having to battle out of all those situations, but I'll take it every time.
How good has your knuckleball felt since you've been called up to the big club?
Tonight, the first 4 innings, it wasn't real good. I had to really try to work with what I had and kind of use some tricks from being 35 years old. But the last 4 innings, it felt real good and just kept throwing one after the other.
What is the team's feel playing here at Citi Field? The record is outstanding. It just seems like there's a comfort level here. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. We got a lot of guys who, our team's built around pitching, great defense, speed. We're an exciting team to watch, and this is a great field for that kind of team.
The knuckleball working again. Congrats on the victory, R.A., okay?
Thank you.
R.A. Dickey, 6-0. Not bad in 7 starts, guys. Back to you.
It has been amazing to watch. R.A. Dickey goes 8 innings for the first time as a Met, lowers his ERA to 2.